Mishmash! Kitbash Corner!
Hey, today we're going to be kitbashing some Space Marines for the first time in a while, and we're going to be doing something a little different. See, there's a certain company I've been hearing about for around 2 years now that I haven't really looked into because I just preferred kitbashing with GW plastic. But with a combination of just not really liking Primaris at all anymore, and generally just not wanting to pay a king's ransom for Horus Heresy stuff, I've finally decided to dip my toes in Tortuga Bay. These guys make some of the best third-party stuff I've ever seen in terms of Space Crusaders, Space Rangers. No, that's also copyrighted, fuck. Regardless, I got about $150 worth of bits, bodies, and legs. And in today's episode, I'll be kitbashing them with pre-existing Games Workshop plastic, as well as some other bits from my collection. But before we get into all that good stuff, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share it with a friend, hype the video if you're on mobile, and if you really dig it, consider becoming a channel member. At the end of the day, this is my job, so channel members are essential for keeping this operation floating. Huge thank you to the channel members, you guys are amazing. Also, if you want to support the channel even further, as well as help yourself to amazing hobby products, make sure to hit my affiliate links in the description for Wargames Atlantic, Galeria Airbrushes, Golden Maple, and Strange Plastic. But enough of the promotional stuff, let's get to the kitbashing. So for funsies, I might as well do a little bit of an unboxing for the products I ended up getting from Tortuga Bay. I have to say, it's actually kind of impressive. Looks really official and, well, it feels official. I ended up ordering quite a few bits from them, this including a ton of legs and body parts, and some helmets. I didn't end up actually ordering any arms or weapons, purely because it wouldn't be as much of a kitbash if I just ended up getting the base models. But as you can see, each of the things I ordered are in these neat little baggies, and I think I ordered around $100 worth of stuff. More specifically, I wanted to get bits that were perfect for Sons of Medusa and Iron Hands. However, I will state for the most part, the way that I'm building my army in particular, these guys are going to be towering over them, as they are more akin to Primaris proportions. However, I do plan on using some of these guys for character models, and that'll be a future kitbash you'll see on the channel soon. So I won't be adding a lot of these to my army per se, however, for individual kitbashing and for individual chapters that I like, much like my Bad Ab War series, I think these will be a perfect fit. Speaking of perfect fits, I have to say it's really nice to be able to build Space Marines in the classic style of torso and leg. There's something so satisfying about the simple act of gluing a torso onto a ball joint on the legs. I was gonna say I missed this, but that's already kinda what I do for my army for the most part, besides some of the Mark VI Marines from Horus Heresy. But even with the detail that I like for Horus Heresy miniatures, I just prefer things to be easier and more fun to build. Building is one of my favorite parts of the hobby. And the only aspect that I think is kind of a downside for these models in particular is I have to use super glue over plastic glue because of their resin bodies. Speaking of gluing, with super glue, I'm going to be attaching a bolt gun using one of the bolt guns from the Red Corsairs Raider kits. These two kits together in conjunction make for a perfect match, and though there is something to be said about the new Raiders' bolt guns being oddly long compared to regular bolters, which doesn't even really make any sense, I don't know why they did that, but it also adds for a little bit more room for freehand. I also think that the posing and the arm size is about on par for what I would like for these Marines. Plus, I just think the poses that they got for the Red Corsairs are perfect. And as you can see, gluing it in place did take a little bit of effort. I ended up actually using a touch of sprue glue just to mold with the super glue, just to give it a little bit more space to fit on and really make a good coherent bond. Considering that these arm pieces and the connection points are going to be covered by pauldrons, you're not really going to see any of the nasty gunk. Speaking of pauldrons, I want to make this guy a beaky, so I decided to give him the Corvus studded pauldron, and for his helmet, I'm utilizing yet another piece from the Tortuga Bay kit, this being a classic Cyclops visor beaky helm, or more legally speaking, M6 head classic. I'm a huge sucker for Cyclops Marines. Now, I will preface that it did take a moment to glue in place because I am using super glue over plastic glue, which the quality of life is on another level, but it still looks awesome. And to give him a little iconography for his other pauldron, I gave him a Crimson Fist pauldron from the old Deathwatch kit. Yeah, we're going a little classic with this guy. However, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do for his power pack, so I ultimately decided to just use one from the Red Corsairs kit as well. I didn't really want the power pack to be too small, however I don't think that Firstborn power packs would be too much of an issue. I mean, I know they're not because I used plenty of them on the other guys in this episode, so we'll see that when we get to it. But I particularly like this one purely because of the little angular design on the back. It just feels very old school to me. I also decided to add on some holsters and grenades for each of these guys. However, at this point, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. He is a perfect Space Marine already. I also ended up painting him as a classic Rogue Trader era Crimson Fist because, well, they're one of my favorite chapters. Also, I filmed the entire process, so you can expect that as a channel members only video. Ooh. But I also ended up taking some pictures side by side with other Marines in my collection to give you a better idea of the actual scale. I know I already kind of did it earlier by holding him in my hands, but I think it looks a little bit better in a stationary box. As you can see, side by side with my Firstborn Marines that I kitbashed for my Sons of Medusa, they're clearly a bit taller, and especially in the legs, they're a lot thicker. Now, part of it is the pose, because we don't really get a lot of Space Marines with standard standing poses. A lot of them are usually hunched and running. But I think this is actually a pretty accurate representation, especially when you put him next to an Imperial Guardsman. Though I definitely prefer heroic scale over true scale, it always seemed a little bit off with how tall Primaris Marines are compared to Guardsmen. If we're to believe they're 9 feet tall, it doesn't really make any sense. But for a Firstborn, I think this is about right. But we got plenty other dudes to kitbash in this episode, so I think we should be moving on. But first, Tabletop Stronghold. Yes, sir, we are sponsored yet again by Tabletop Stronghold. Tabletop Stronghold is your one-stop shop way of getting your miniatures from point A to point B without them rattling around like me when I was a child and my dad driving with it. Nah, I should probably not admit to that. Anyway, with customizable racks that can fit everything from the humble guardsman to a big-ass defiler that I kitbashed, you can get an entire army's worth of toys to the hobby store safe and sound with the power of magnets. And if that ain't good enough for you, make sure to use my discount code MASH25 to save 25% off your purchase. Now that's a deal. Huge thank you to Tabletop Stronghold for sponsoring this video. Anyway, let's get back to the toys. I'll be 100 with you. Primarily what I ended up doing, like I said previously, is kitbashing with the Red Corsairs bits, almost entirely to do with the fact that they're more to size with these bodies, and they're all Firstborn parts. And even though I pretty much despise Primaris weapons in terms of their redesigns, the arms would be totally to scale, so if I wanted to add in chainswords, it wouldn't really bother me. Also, I will say that the helmets for the Red Corsairs are a perfect fit for these bodies as well. I only bought 2 sets of noggins, this being Mark V and the aforementioned Mark VI ones, so most of the guys I ended up building were just stuff out of my original collection. The pauldrons are also primarily just Firstborn from Horus Heresy, but a few are actual Primaris pauldrons. In fact, the Primaris Space Wolf bits are essentially just Firstborn parts. All around, it's exactly what I would have wanted out of a true scale design for Space Marines. Granted, I am doing plenty of kitbashing, but I think it's perfect. These guys look almost one-to-one with the original designs we had in the codexes around the time that we still had the old squat tacticals. I think, too, they still look plenty cartoony enough that I think it fits the setting. They still look plenty freakish in my opinion, which I think is imperative for Space Marines. However, I did get a little curious and a little bit, I guess, experimental with the bits I ended up using. Now, the arms that you see here are still the Red Corsairs arms, and I did end up actually trimming a tactical hand, just so I could fit this Blood Angel's plasma gun, but again, I think the old tactical weapons are also pretty good in terms of size when it comes to representing these Space Marines. I do still think, like I said previously, that the Red Corsairs bolt guns are a little too long for my taste, but as you can see here, most bits that are to size with the old tacticals are actually pretty nice to scale with these models. The power pack I'm using comes from the old Blood Angels tactical kit that's out of print now, but personally I always kind of liked how Space Marines look with smaller power packs. When they look too big, it just kind of throws the balance off. And the pauldrons I ended up using are from the old Mark IV kit, and I would consider those models the most squat Space Marines we have. Not only do I think they look pretty to scale, I think they just look cool in general on these bodies. The pauldrons aren't too big, they're not too small, they're just right. And if you wanted to go with smaller helmets, you could still use the Horus Heresy ones, but I'm not a huge fan of those, and they don't have any Mark 7 yet. And truthfully, I do think these do look better than any of the Horus Heresy models that we have. It's all subjective, of course, but I don't know. Now, I'm not saying if I were to go back, I'd use these guys over the models I currently have for my Sons of Medusa. The only reason being is I still think there'd be a lot of limitation in what I could make in terms of character models. I wouldn't be able to be as creative, so there is that caveat when it comes to third-party stuff. However, even though I think this guy turned out really well, I do want to show a model that turned out a little weird, and you'll understand why very quickly. As a profound lover of the classic Devastator Squad box, I had to kitbash a guy with a heavy bolter. So, I will say for the most part, it does look pretty good in terms of size and scale, mostly to do with how many extra bits are attached to the weapon itself. The ammunition belt and the power pack are pretty large, so it doesn't look that weird. And when you add on regular pauldrons, it doesn't look too bad, but if you look at it for long enough, you'll realize that these arms are utterly tiny and scrawny and pathetic. And even though I'm doing plenty of mental gymnastics to think this looks good, it still looks a little weird. Then again, Space Marines should be weird, and they should all be mutated weirdos. However, I will say a really nice little icing on top of the cake is the Mark 8 helmet from the old Deathwatch set. I'll be fully transparent, I was never a huge fan of these helmets, but with the Mark 8 body, it fits right at home. The arms still bother me, but I still think it looks pretty good. I don't know how well this would look with the other weapons in the Devastator Squad kit, but with how crowded the model is with this weapon in particular, I think it gets a pass. However, for the next couple guys, I do want to say it's really nice having some actual upgrade bits for Iron Hands in any chapter related to them. I get it, we're a niche, but our own upgrade kit only really has one bit that actually constitute as an upgrade part. The rest are just half-baked heads. Actually, I kind of like the heads, I'll take that back. But I wish we had a little bit more. Even though they are resin, I still wish that we had bits akin to the old Iron Hands upgrade box that we had for our tacticals. Lord knows I've poached enough bits from individual character models to actually make upgrades for my Sons of Medusa, this both being 40k and 30k, but on average a character model from 30k and 40k is around $45. I don't really want to do that for individual parts. I'd rather just have the chassis to make up my own cool dudes, and I think it works out pretty well with these guys. In fact, I actually did end up kitbashing quite a few characters that you will not see in this episode. Also on this guy, I decided to use one of the leftover helmets that I had from my Sons of Medusa, this being one of the regular tactical heads, just so you can see how it looks on the bodies. Also, Mark 5 helmet. I think the Red Corsairs helmets in the classic tacticals are about equal in terms of utility when it comes to making these guys look good. And I will be honest, I do think I like the Games Workshop helmets a little bit better than the M7 helmets they have on the website, which, whatever, I'm a kit basher. They have plenty of other helmets I like though. And oh hey, Mark 5 helmet. The last Marine I decided to kit bash for this video in particular is just an Assault Marine. Considering all these guys have had bolters and a plasma gun, I thought it would be appropriate to go for the iconic chainsword and bolt pistol look. I think this works really well with a lot of the Red Corsairs arms, especially. Yeah, I'm using a lot of that kit in this episode. But I also wanted to kitbash this guy in particular because not only do they have about every mark that you could wish for, it's literally all of them, but there's all kinds of different poses for each variant. There's static poses for regular Marines, and there's running poses. So it's all the more appropriate we give it to an Assault Marine. I know it's not super dynamic with what you get with modern Primaris Marines, and some people like that, but personally, and especially for an army, I do really prefer having poses that are a little bit more static. Plus, being able to glue the torso to your liking in any direction allows for more posability overall. For me, an action pose that's super dynamic and detailed is cool, but it's only cool for so long once you have a bunch of other models that follow the same pose. But like I said earlier, I did want to showcase what regular Marine noggins look like on these bodies, so I decided to use one from the Space Marine Adventures kit. I was always a huge fan of this one in particular. Now keep in mind this one is built for a tactical Marine, so Primaris heads are a little bit bigger, But honestly, I think the best fit would be a lot of the noggins that you get with the Horus Heresy kits. They're more detailed in a way that I like, and since they're slightly smaller because their helmets are tiny and impotent, I think they look better on these gargantuan bodies as a result. Cannot stress enough that Space Marines should be weird and abnormal looking. But after attaching yet another one of the Mark III Red Corsairs bits, I'm now left with a ton of Marines that really do buzz my brain. I know this seems silly, because I've kitbashed so many Marines that I really like and I love my Sons of Medusa army, but this is what I would have wanted years ago. As tempted as I am to bait the comments that hate whenever I talk about Primaris in a bad light, I feel like these models just kind of prove my point. I don't really need to say anything. Plus, it's art. Who the hell cares? You should like what you like, even if it is objectively wrong. But, like I said, and while we're baiting for comments, like I said, I won't really be adding these guys to my army for the most part, so I think we're just gonna be doing a lot of one-off kit bashes using these models. So if you have a weird specific chapter that you'd like to see me paint, well, now's your chance. Leave it in the comments. I definitely want to circle back to some old Bad Ab chapters because, man, sometimes I kind of wish that I kitbashed with these rather than the old ones. Maybe we'll do a Redux. Who knows? But I think I've definitely been flapping my beak enough for one video. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share with a friend, and remember to mishmash, kitbash, and paint some fantastic miniatures. And you're gonna. I promise. See ya.